of lies. You are listening to the John H. Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train. It is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John H. Happy to be back with you once again in the dark side of the AM. I'll be taking you well through the witching hour this evening, so thanks for tuning in. Shout out to all those Patriots prayer people, and thanks to all the old school people. We're on like 5-6 different platforms right now. I don't even know. So thanks to all those people that happen to be tuning in, however you happen to be tuning in. And if you're watching this later, if you're watching this in 2027, then hats off to you. Just some kind of freaky time traveler watching this in 2023. Man, it's going to get so much worse. You should just, well, never mind. Check out anomicage.com. Looks a little like this. Please go to anomicage.com if you've not already done so. Like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions. PayPal.me/anomicage. Patreon.com/anomicage as well. That's the best way you can help me out. Right there at anomicage.com. You can scroll on down to the lower side. And you can see some of the recent shows. Last show we did was episode 523, Perspective and Focus. We also had a great guest. We had Michael Cremo on here last week. And if you missed that one, you need to check yourself. This is pretty good stuff. All kinds of forbidden archaeology with Michael Cremo. We got some other guests coming up too. We're going to talk about some freaky deaky weird stuff in the coming weeks. I hope so, anyway. I mean, with or without a guest, we're talking about something weird. I mean, I'm straight up in here to tell you, folks, we can't keep talking about this bull jive, the same mess over and over again. It just makes you want to die. Don't do that. Anyway, hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the old North State, I'll be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence, thrust upon us by a global Luciferian death cult of pedophiles. We're going to get into so much this evening. I don't know if we're going to cover every single thing I just talked about. We're going to cover some of it. I tell you what, we're going to cover some of it, my man. Whew. I was working on this graphic off and on for a couple hours tonight. I don't know why it didn't take that long. I just kept getting distracted and people kept bothering me and I do like 10 things at once. You know, the usual stuff. Anyway, title of tonight's episode is Anti-Everything. Anti-it-all, folks. I guarantee you by the end of tonight's episode, we're going to drop some viewers. We're going to drop some subscribers. People are going to get their little panties, their bloomers in a work tonight, man. Because I'm gonna probably hack off somebody. Not intentionally. I'm clearing the barn, folks. I'm clearing out the barn. As I always say, there's no sacred cows in my barn. And I guarantee you, we're gonna take them all out. We're gonna look in the corners. We're gonna look under the hay. We're gonna look up in the loft. We're gonna go Freaky Jason style with a pitchfork and a machete all through the hayloft, checking out all those little trick cows and sacred four-legged hooving friends. We're going to kick them out. They're all going out tonight, folks. They're all going out. Yeah, it's funny. I was a little bit gloomy before I started the show, like, 5 minutes ago now. And, yeah. I don't know. Something about our little bi-weekly conversations kind of puts me in a better frame of mind, usually. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because I'm not talking about anything upbeat tonight. We're going to talk about the dark side of the Force as much as possible. was an old punk band. I never got into them too much. It was Anti-Patsy, I believe. Something like that. Anti-Pasty, maybe. Anyway, I had one of their records one time, and I was like, I ain't into this. Just forget about it. Anyway, that has nothing to do with tonight's episode, but I guess the font and maybe the somewhat background, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, tonight's episode, in case you didn't see it, it's anti-everything. And we're going to get into all of it, man. We're going to get it all tonight, folks. Because to be real with you, I've had enough. I've had enough for at least 6-8 months, probably a couple years now, which is probably why the show has gotten progressively darker. And probably why I've managed to ostracize myself and paint myself into a lovely corner, which is cool with me. I don't mind being in the corner. It's a nice place to be. You know, you're in the corner, you can see all the things in front of you, and you can make sure there's no scumbags behind you. Because if there's one thing you can't stand, it's those people behind you. Those casualty vampires, as the circle jerks would say. Anyway, so we got to get into all this evening. I can't decide whether or not we're going to cover some silly news first or whether we just going to jump into the deep end of the pool. I think we're just going to jump deep into the pool. And if we get into some silly news later, so be it. The news, I don't even know what differentiates silly from not silly news anymore because it's all just a laugh. It really is hilarious at this juncture. I mean, the things that pass as news in 2026 are just, it's comedy. I don't know how anybody on the right, the alternative news, you know, I have no clue on God's green earth how the quote unquote big names, the Bolton Souls, do a straight up just hard political show. I have no clue how it's done. You know, like Alex and Tucker and even the Joe Rogans and everybody in between that does this kind of garbage. I'm just like, how does it not become a comedy? Every single show, like every single show. You just got to look at this jive mess and just start busting out laughing. It's hysterical, folks. It's just hysterical. Anyway, we'll cover the flipping comedy news maybe like the latter 15 if we have time. If we don't, I don't know. I'm going to check out of here early tonight anyway. I'm promised myself I'm checking this thing out early tonight. Anyway, we'll see. All right, anti-everything. Let's go into anti-everything and why we're anti-everything. And I was doing a little introspection lately. It's surprise, surprise. A little introspection, trying to figure out where did this rebellious streak actually come from within myself? It's good to take accountability. It's good to do some reflection, you know. And you got to figure out where some of your darker traits come from. I don't know. I don't have a lot. Some would say I have many. Some would say I have a lot more. But anyway, I would suggest I don't have all that many. But the ones that I have, I'm trying to figure them out. Oh, man. This reminds me of a great bit by Sam Kinison. I'm not going to give you the whole bit. It's too vulgar for tonight. But anyway, I'm trying to figure it out. Where did these things come from, you know? And I don't know. I really don't. I'm sure the people, and I'm trying to be nice, man. I'm sure there are those people that say it's a rebellious spirit, John. You have the darkness within you. It's the demonic possession, or I don't even know, man. I don't know. To that demographic, everything seems to be something demonic. So the rebellious spirit or what have you. It might be. I ain't saying it's not. I'm just saying I'm trying to take stock of this and trying to figure out exactly where the bleep this whole thing came from. You know, I don't know. I remember as a small boy, a small lad, a child on the coastal plains of the old North State. I remember, I don't even know what grade of elementary school I was in, but it's funny to me, the things you remember and the things that you forget. But it's also funny to me, at least for myself, I seem to have had everything right the first time. And then I have to go through like all the steps to try to convince myself I was wrong, only to figure out I was right all along. It's a really weird thing that I figured out that I do, and I don't know why. But I remember being a small kid and just kind of figuring out that the whole freedom thing in the United States was a flipping scam, a joke, a complete hilarity, a knee slapping. And I mean, this was like early 80s. It had to be like Reagan, episode 1 or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how this came to me, but I just remember, talking to my grandparents primarily, and I think my parents also about this, but just, the fact that free speech isn't free speech. I don't even know how this whole thing came out, but I remember making up this song, God bless America, land that isn't free. I remember making up this song to the tune of God Bless America as a small boy. And it didn't go over well with the fam. But I just remember thinking, this whole thing's a scam, folks. The whole, God bless her. Everybody stands up straight. Everybody's got goosebumps. And you got your hand over your heart. And you're doing the thing. And it's all the stuff that all the other sheep do, But it's all such a con, hustle, a dodge, and a scam. And this is going to rub people the wrong way, but hear me out. It's a con, hustle, a dodge, and a scam because it's an illusion, folks. It's not real. I liken it to Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, the flipping Easter Bunny, the Bernstein Bear. I don't know, whatever you want to throw at it that's just a complete fairy tale. It's the same flipping thing, man. It's kind of like that old adage, I can't remember the exact phrase, but basically it says to the effect that the real people that are really enslaved are the people that believe that they're actually free, that believe that they're not slaves. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot to that. There's so much truth to that. And I'm not disparaging America. I'm disparaging the military. It's disparaging whatever the flip else. No, I'm not. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I'm calling the B to the S as B to the S. I'm not going to slather myself in feces and go, this smells lovely. That's stupid, folks. So, when you actually factually take stock of it all, look at it, it's got to pass the smell test, doesn't it? You got to sniff it a little bit. Hey, what the? Oh, my goodness, that's creepy. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to smell, but if you do, then you do. You know what I mean? So, and don't get me wrong, I know somebody out there is about to have a heart attack. They've already turned me into the PMRC or something. And, a heretic, a traitor, a communist, a Democrat, whatever else you want to throw in there, that's bull jive, but whatever makes you sleep better. Somebody's already turned me into the PMRC, I promise, because I have destroyed their illusion. You're not for the military, you're not for Trump, you're not for America, you're just for... Yeah, I'm for freedom, you dolts. I'm for freedom. That's what I'm for. Freedom. Freedom. And don't give me this bull job. It's the difference between liberty and freedom. Yeah, I know, dummy. I know. That's why I want complete and utter freedom. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about liberty on a ship that's granted to us by the Admiralty Court and whatever the flipping, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that lives on the boat with Captain Crunch, whatever the flip that is. I don't care, folks. I'm saying full and utter free to the dumb. Okay? Freedom. That's what I'm talking about here. So, what I'm anti is things that would inhibit, lessen, or control mi libre, my freedom. That's right. That's exactly right, folks. So let's take a short trip down memory lane and see if we can peer in, maybe through the porthole or maybe even a peephole, and see how this is all a contrived mess. It really is, folks. Let's check this out. So, some of the things that are complete and utter disaster. At this point, if you don't understand and appreciate this, I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm not trying to belittle you. I'm not trying to make fun of you in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying, please, abren los ojos y miren la luz. Open your eyes and see the light. Yeah, please do. Take the glasses off, take the blinders off, take the hat, take the hairpiece, take the toboggan, take the beanie, take the derby, whatever you've got on your head, remove it. Remove the scales from your eyes. If you can't do it, get a friend and maybe they can pry it off with a flipping hammer and a crowbar. Just try. Try to see the world through an objective lens of reality. Not through the Fox News lens, not through the CNN lens, not through the Democrat, the Republican, Aunt Jemima, whatever else lens. Stop that bull jive and just look at things objectively. Try to put all the conditioning and all the institutional bull out of your mind and just look at the world for what it actually is. I know it's a holographic universe. I know it's the Matrix. I know everything's AI, CGI, and whatever else. But try. Just try. Okay? So, let's just take a look at some of these little six-sided figures on the screen to the right. Yeah, a la derecha. So what we've got on the screen is MAGA. Okay? So, if you're still in the cult, if you've still got your ear bandage on from 6 or 8 months ago, if you still believe in all things DJT, if you still believe I had a dream and it was Donald John Trump, yeah, if you're still in that camp, you know, the have a dream speech that was a Jew wrote it for MLK, who was a communist. I mean, just like mind blown after you connect some of these dots and people are still like, he's our guy. Like the blacks are like, you know, Martin Luther King, he's our guy. And then all the cucked whites are like, Martin Luther King, he's our guy. It's so weird. It's so weird when you look at it objectively. But anyway, MAGA. So you've got to look at it all now, right? MAGA. And yeah, that was my Illuminati hand sign. I hope that my money's coming in from the Triangle Boys. Yeah. Anyway, so the MAGA thing, you've got to at least objectively look at it now and go, it's a joke, right? So like all the people that were actually first term MAGA are now deemed heretics. And all the people that were never Trump are now true MAGA. I mean, how much of a dunce do you have to be to wrap your brain around this little tongue-twisting pile of turds? It's hysterical, isn't it? And we went from MAGA to MEGA. We went from make America first to make Israel first. After we already made Ukraine first. And after we made Venezuela first. And I guess we're about to do a swoop ball into Cuba, maybe. I don't know. I don't think we can kick Cuba's butt anymore. I think we can kick Iran's butt. I know this based on that. We couldn't kick Afghanistan's butt. Or what is it? Iran, Iraq. Yeah, we couldn't kick Iraq's butt either. It's just the whole not butt kicking contest around it. You need to fire up some of those old Roy D. Mercer tapes. That's the only butt you're going to be kicking. It ain't going to be nobody, okay? It's a joke. It's an illusion. It's a hustle, a dodge, and a con. So yeah, the MAGA thing is horse feces. So if you buy in that, God help you. I am anti-MAGA, 110%. Make no mistake about it. Things I'm also anti, just so this can go down in the annals of what I'm not for. It's the Democrats and the Republicans. Yeah, both parties are turds, folks. And this is the deal, because the cult members on the right and the left just can't seem to grasp that there can be a third rail. You know, like you've got to be for Israel, or you've got to be for whatever the flicking Palestinians. You know, it's the Jews or the Muslims. No, it's not. It's urinate on all of them. Okay, sorry, that's the facts. Yeah, it's don't care what's going on anywhere but here. Actually, in the continental United States. I'm sorry, just don't. But you have to care, John. It's your Christian thing to do. After all what? After all what, folks? I'm sorry. There's people here in America that are homeless. There's people here in America that are dying. There's people here in America that are getting beat the blit down. There's people in America living under a freaking bridge, okay? Forgive me if I don't give a rat's patoot about what's going on in some third world bleep hole that I'll never see, okay? It's like as if, and maybe this will be the new rollout. The new rollout hopefully will be, we found little green men on the moon. Oh my goodness, it's a Holocaust on the moon. Everybody's got to care. They've got little metal hats that look a lot like the yarmulke. They might even be our greatest allies, the little green men on the moon with the metal hats, I tell you. Maybe so. goodness gracious. I should have put this fake moon crud up there. Did anybody see this? I didn't even pull this video up. It was that Cox lady, I believe. I didn't pull the video. It was too stupid. But then again, somebody's going to go, but you pulled the Melania video. That's even more stupid. I know. All right, fine. So the Cox lady was up there doing a press conference, and then her earpiece cuts out, and she just goes into nothing. She doesn't even do that stupid dance. What's that idiot's name? Ashley Simpson. Remember Jessica Simpson's little sister, Ashley? And she did that one song, and then she got up on the Saturday Night Live. It still wasn't funny then. And she did that one song, and the record skipped or something. I mean, she must have really twisted somebody's nads. It's a troll booth or something, because that just doesn't happen, folks. It's like Milli Vanilli. You know, they tick somebody off. Your record just doesn't start skipping. Come on. You do better, right? You got like multi-million-dollar production. Come on. Anyway, so she must have really whizzed in somebody's cornflakes, because if you remember, Ashley Simpson gets up there, the record skips, and she stops even pretending to sing and starts doing the hoedown dance. Yeah. This Koch lady didn't even do the hoedown dance. She just sat there in silence for seconds and seconds, and maybe even a minute, and pontificated on nothing and just waited for her mic to kick in. And then her mic kicks back in, and she starts just talking about the blackness of space and the immensity of it all. And I don't know. Maybe she'll next time talk about the little green men that live on the moon and have little metal hats. Yeah. I don't know. Let's hope so. But anyway, the right and the left, the binomial nomenclature, the X's and O's. If anyone is still buying this, please, folks, seek professional help. And I know there's a lot of people still buying this jive. There's a lot of cult members on the left, folks. They're crazier than bedbug, man. These are the jackwagon morons that are out there burning cities down. Oh, John, but they were funded. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. You got to fund me like billions of dollars before I go out there and start, My point is, you could pay me a lot, and I'm still not going out there and burn down a city and start beating people. All the bull jive, shenanigans, and otherwise destruction that occurred during the Summer of Rage. Hey, by the way, guess who was the presidente durante este? You guessed it. It was DJT. Like, people act like all this mess happened like during Barry Soetoro or during whatever that boob was. It was like an android. Biden. Yeah, he might have been an android for all I know. That Koch lady looked very android-esque when she was up there, just like ding, ding, ding. Stepford Wives like 2.0. That chick was a scary baby. It got even more creepy when she stopped talking for like a minute. And the crowd grew silent and then angry. Anyway, don't worry. There's still people actually believing this BS. I don't know how many people I see in the feed like every day. They're like, oh my goodness, we went to the moon again. Oh my goodness. I guess these are the boomers, you know? I mean, I'm not trying to crash out. I'm not trying to goy slop or boomer slop or whatever retarded cool words that I'm supposed to use to get clicks. I'm not trying to crash out. But they must be the demographic that's like still touting this as legitimate. I don't know. It's either that or the people that are in the learning disability class. I'm sure it's just called like the normal class now, but I don't know. Yeah, the right-left thing, if you're buying that, please seek professional help. Look into it. Look into how much of a staged charade it all is. It's just hilarious, really. It's the whole thing. Like, who's dumber, the fool or the fool that follows the fool? It's a tough call. I'm going with the fool that follows the fool. Like, there's a dumb bleep everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's some moron. Guarantee you right now, whatever you happen to be doing, take a trip outside and see if you can find any humans. Guarantee you, they'll be like low-grade moron, drooling all over themselves, vaping, picking their nose, eating it, looking at their little light box. This is the lowbrow stupidity that's just norm now. Wearing bedroom shoes, wearing bonnets, wearing pajamas, pants halfway down the knee. I mean, just dressed like a Gila monster. I mean, these are the normal people now. And yeah, these are the cult members on the right and left, okay? These are them. That's the people telling you. So please don't buy into that horse feces. And I know I'm going to get flack on this one because everybody thinks voting is the answer. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is, could be, or might be. I don't know what the answer is. But let me give you a little history lesson. Just a quick one, right? So, We're about to be at 250 if we make it that long to July 4th. Yeah, right? Anyway, 250 is allegedly it. I mean, who the flip knows? We're all in some like weird time continuum. The clocks have been changed. The calendars have been changed. Time itself has been changed. So who the flip actually knows what year it even is? Christ's sakes, we might be BC right now. I don't know. But anyway, allegedly in 1776, FYI, North Carolina beat the rest of the country on this. So pat on the back to North Carolina. But anyway, rest of the country, 1776. Allegedly, the Lexington and Concord event, which who the flip knows, by all means could have been a false flag like all the rest. It doesn't matter at this juncture. Just doesn't. But back then, allegedly, we went and did the Continental Congress thing. We tried to talk it out with King George multiple times. And for our troubles, he gave us like the Stamp Act, the Townshend Act, the tea taxes, sugar taxes, everything in between. It was getting, And then we had Lexington and Concord, the big event, where the colonists, those racist scumbag crackers, were stockpiling some weapons. And George and the Redcoat boys caught word of it. So they went to and fro, just beating the bleep out of people and taking their stuff, okay? So that was the alleged events, okay? So the people that believe that voting works, these would be the loyalists during the 1776 time. These would be the loyalists that would have said, let's just keep talking to King George. Sure, we're paying ridiculous taxes here. Sure. Hey, people are dying. They're breaking into houses and such. Let's just keep paying the taxes and talking to George. Maybe it'll go away. I bet a nickel, maybe King George will step down. The new guy, yeah, he'll be better. This is the stupidity. So these will be the loyalists. So people that are saying, just keep voting in the midterms, just keep voting next time. This is the people that just say, like, my team's going to win next year. We're going to get them next year. How exactly? What's going to happen that's going to change anything from here to there? You know what I'm saying? So that's the big hilarity at this point in the game. I've seen a bunch of the right wing, the alternative media, the influencers, they out there toting this line, saying, we should just all vote Democrat. And I'm like, hey, I got a better idea. How about you just go fly a kite? Who the flip cares? You know what I'm saying? All that right that people voted in last time, what was accomplished by any of this? I'm just trying to figure out what has actually been accomplished. We're not seeing this mass exodus. We've allegedly got all this tariff money that's going, I don't know where. Oh, I do, actually. It's going to Israel. It's going to Ukraine. It's going to several African third world bleepos and every other third world bleepo you can think of. It's not going into my pocket. It's not going into your pocket. We're not getting any benefits, any doodads, or even any little trinkets out of this deal. The deficit's gone up. We're at war with at least one country, and we've gone to war with three. It's just hilarious, man. So, don't worry, we'll get them next time. We better vote right in the midterms or something bad will happen. I guess. Something bad that would happen is all that stuff that DJT put into play, the Palantir goodies, that would then be under the control of the left as it's already under the control of the right. Newsflash, the right's investigating, going after, and otherwise spying on the American public right now. Nothing's happened. Would it be worse under the left? I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so the voting conundrum, I think it's a joke. If it was really worth the bleep, they wouldn't let you do it. So, do what you want. Like the great digital underground, do what you like. You'd be better off sleeping, going flying a kite, spending some time with your family, do some cooking. Might as well. Throw some scrambled eggs on, make some biscuits, pancakes, hash browns, the whole 9 yards. Make a huge meal out of it. Just make a big meal. Whatever you want to do. Go walk around by the water, go feed some ducks. Just look at nature. Talk to a friend. There's a lot of people you probably haven't talked to in years. Call them up, text them, email them, whatever it takes. Hey there, Steve, what's going down? Spencer, hadn't talked to you in decades, buddy. How are you? It just doesn't matter, folks. It just doesn't. In case you missed it, the whole election process is jacked up from the floor up. Did you miss the Biden thing? Did you miss that? How about AOC? Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. Remember all these scumbags that just got into office? Nothing's actually changed in any of that process, folks. So, do what you like. I'm just saying, I'm anti all that too. But wait, there's more. What do we got left on the screen? Here's one that'll piss a lot of people off. I'm anti the drug culture. I'm anti the drug culture, the whore culture, the promiscuity culture, the drinking, the smoking, the vaping. All that weak trash, I'm anti that as you could possibly be, folks. I'm pro a firestorm to purify. That's what I'm all about. So I completely understand and appreciate that this culture has been thrust upon us since at least the late 50s. Okay, get it. Subculture created out of Tavistock, out of Lookout Mountain Studios, all that bleep. I know. Election Kool-Aid, acid test, flipping CIA, throwing out LSD and weed on college campuses for years. The whole thing's a scam. Okay, the whole flipping thing's a scam. It's been glorified to the 10th power for decades. And people have the audacity to wonder why we have a drug problem. Why we have a horror problem. There's no nice way to say this. Why we have a big STD problem. Why we have people copulating for sport, getting pregnant, killing kids problem. I mean, it's just downright hilarious. But I am very much I'll just say American culture. How does that grab you? I'm anti-American culture. Because American culture is a flippin' joke. You got a culture of whores, a culture of drug addict, drunk, druggy trash, a culture of fat people, a culture of people with a litany of diseases, mostly self-inflicted, a culture of people bent on antidepressants and somehow still depressed. Could it be that you're on the booze and the drugs in addition to the antidepressants? I don't know. Could be. So I'm also anti the celebrity culture and the influencer culture. I'm anti all that bullshit. Why would anybody sycophantically kiss the ring of anybody? I mean, the great Joe Salente said this quite aptly decades ago, I'm sure, but I heard it a couple years ago. Basically, to the point, he said, yo, these clowns are no better than me. What are these people special? These people aren't special. They're not some higher order of men that we're supposed to just kiss the rump of. No, that's just silly, folks. So everything that is American culture, I am absolutely anti. 110%. Just in case you were wondering, just in case you were thinking, I wonder how John feels about... Yeah, I'm laying it all out for you now, folks. And don't expect there to be some grand reveal. This is how we stop it. No, how you stop it is by checking the flip out of it. That's how you stop it, okay? Newsflash, you already knew that going into it, okay? As the great Big Reeds often said, it's participatory. You got to get out of it. You got to stop participating in it. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and going, we're going to listen to Justin Bieber and get high and smoke, well, whatever it is. Just don't care. Stop being trash, okay? Stop being trash. How easy can that flipping be? Remember the old anti-drug ad? I learned it from watching you. Okay, great. Well, then unlearn it. You learned it from the culture. You've learned it from the morons in the music culture. I mean, this was obvious for decades anyway, but I mean, this was kind of new. What was that guy from Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corrigan, came out like weeks ago, probably months ago, just made the news weeks ago. He was saying something obvious. Like, I think that they stifled the alternative movement, the white music movement, and subjugated it and relegated it and replaced it with gangster rap, the most lowbrow, nonsensical idiocy known to man. I mean, everybody knew that, right? How is this news to anybody? Next, it'll be like revelatory information. There's chemtrails in the sky. Oh my, you don't say. Yeah, I mean, this was obvious for decades. Sumner Redstone, the guy that owned MTV and bought VH1 and like all the music channels, there was an obvious meeting. I mean, this was known, for heaven's sakes. This was known stuff. This wasn't like, you know, they might as well have put it on C-SPAN 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. It was like, yeah, Sumner Redstone is cutting off the rock and putting on the hippity hop. That's what's up. So, duh, yeah. That's what happened. I mean, it's not as if that 90s garbage was even good. It was freaking detestable as well. But, you know, was it better than mumble rap? I guess. Was it less complicit in the destruction of society juxtaposed to like Snoop and NWA? I don't even know. One culture was pushing depressing heroin rock, and the other culture was pushing just be a big fat piece of trash and hang out with whores and smoke weed and sip 40s all day, I guess. I don't know. Like, anyway, that's where we are. And this is somehow revelatory because Billy Corrigan said it a couple weeks ago and it made the rounds on the social media. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what they're talking about. Yeah, American culture sucks, folks. It stinks. It's a joke. What can you do about it? Get out of it. Yeah, middle finger to the whole thing. Okay, anti-everything. That's what's up, folks. But wait, there's more, because somebody out there is not ticked off yet. Kind of like that old thing from Network. First, you've got to get mad. You really do have to get mad. So if what I'm saying inflames you, oh, good. I hope it's not a rectal inflammation. What else is irritating to me? That'd be the constant wars. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be irritating to you? Don't worry, because now we have an automatic sign up for the draft. No longer do you have to go to the post office or look online. I guess they know who you are based on your footprint and your blood sample from the birth. They know where you are from the Palantir, from the 5G towers, and from your lovely little CIA monitoring device. They don't even have to give these morons, you know, the ankle bracelet like Lindsay Lohan from like 20 years ago. Now people are just willingly carrying the bracelet around like, look, I forgot my bracelet. Look at it. It gives me sports scores and whores and everything. It's great. Anyway, so the war. Back to the war, I tell you. The Great Fear song, Let's Start a War. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty anti-war. I mean, you know, probably has something to do with the fact that every single war in American history is predicated on a false flag. That's why I postulated the question, was Lexington and Concord even real? Do we know? I mean, we know the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere was about as real as my fake plant over there. But, you know, the Lexington and Concord thing might have been fake too. Who the flip knows? I mean, we know the Fort Sumter thing. Like, that was just an ongoing thing. Like, yeah, people would take shots at Fort Sumter. Blah. So what? I mean, that wasn't even like they were taking real shots. It was kind of like people just mooning people on the flipping overpass or something. It wasn't like a special event. It was like, they never fired at the Great Fort Sumter, and then, you know, get the flip out of here. Anyway, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of wars. I'm very anti-war. I don't think any American should be shedding their blood for any other country on the globe. I think we should shut down all those bases. I don't know how many 300 plus we got all around the world. Shut them down. Bring all the troops home. Put all those troops on the border. Bring all the destroyers, the subs, everything. Put it on the borders of this country. And if you see anybody coming that shouldn't be there, take them out. Just that plain and simple. Oh, the drug cartels. The drug cartels would be a cinder just south of the Rio Grande if we actually did that. Oh, but the humanity, the children, John, the children. Okay. I just make a big blanket declaration. Hey, guess what? America's shutting down their bases. We're bringing home the troops. You want it? Just bring it. That should be like the declaration by whoever pretends to be president. But they won't do that, folks. There's no money in that. How would Raytheon make their house payments? How would we keep sacrificing our children if we didn't have these meaningless wars? You know? What would we do? So yeah, pretty anti-war. The last two blocks are quite a juxtaposition for many of you, I know. I'll start with the safe one first because this won't trigger any of the right wings. I'm pretty tired of the LGBT elemental not so silent P's. And there's a lot more than these. I mean, these were just the few shapes that I wanted to put on the screen. I'm pretty tired of the whole gay thing. I'm tired of the whole tranny, the gay, the pedos, the whole nine. I'm just tired of it. Remember a couple months back, it was black fatigue. Oh yeah, I've got everything fatigue, folks. Everything. The illegals from every spot on the globe. I've got fatigue. The blacks, the whites, the Puerto Ricans, the Jamaicans, the druggies, the straights, the heteros, everything in between. I've got fatigue, folks. Absolute freaking fatigue. Okay? Influencer fatigue, dribbling politician fatigue. I'm sick of it all, folks. Sick of it all. But yeah, I got a special place in my heart, and I'm very much tired of that old alphabet soup mafia thing. I'm tired of it. No one really cares what you do with your little wee-wees. You want to cut one off, you want to staple one on, whatever you want to do, as long as you're not messing around with kids or animals, have a good time. You want to stick your in a piece of cork? Whatever. You got some breadsticks or something you're into? Whatever you want to do, folks. I don't need to know about it, and I don't care. Doesn't bother me. Just do it. Don't broadcast it. Don't put it on network TV. If you want to have your own little private channel that people pay to do whatever, yeah, great. I just don't care. Just shut up about it. Leave the kids, animals, and innocent things alone and go about your business. Okay? Nobody needs to get married over it. Nobody needs to have a special ritual over it. Just do it and shut up. Very tired. But there's more. There's one more that people are really just, aghast. Institutions, folks. Got a little church over there in the bottom left for you. I'm real sick of it, folks. Real sick of it. All of it. Okay? So whatever your institutional learning facility happens to be, you guessed it, I paraphrased and parlayed a little Suicidal Tendencies. Great song called Institutionalized. Because we went to your schools, we went to your churches, we went to your institutional learning facilities. So how can you say I'm crazy? Wise words from the great Mike Muir. So, yeah, I'm tired of the old institutions thing. I really am. Forget about it. We had the Pope come out today. I don't even know who this guy is, and I don't give a Rudy poo. Anyway, he came out with this hilarious knee slapper today. Why isn't this guy on comedy? Whatever it is. He should make Joe Rogan. I was going to say Comedy Central. I don't think that's around anymore. But anyway, the Pope should be on Joe Rogan cracking these flipping one-liners. They're hilarious. He believes that Christians and Muslims could just live in peace together. Does this guy just never crack a book or what? I mean, this is the deal. You've got to be an absolute moron. You've got to be straight up propagandizing and gaslighting the American public to the nines, or you're just an AI bot. That's the choices at this point in the game. So this guy's going, I guess, I don't know if it's national, international, or if he just posted it on his Twitter, the Pope, saying, the retarded Rodney King, can't we all just get along, No, we can't. That's the problem, Rodney. That's why you're flipping dead right now, probably, buddy. Same thing with the Pope. Guess what, Pope, baby? Take off your freaky alien hat and polish your frickin' cone, I guess, man. Because here's the breaking news for the Pope and those people that are dumb enough to believe it. Propaganda reference. No, they can't get along, buddy. Did you miss the golden era of 800 years of Sodom that was Spain before they kicked those scumbags out of Spain? Did you miss that, Pope, baby? Did you forget about that one? You somehow thought they weren't going to jump over the golden walls of the Vatican? You don't think they're coming for you, Pope, baby? Come on, man. Please don't be that stupid. Please don't be that myopic and dumb. Hate to break it to you. There's no living in peace with people that are not peaceful. If it's actually in your religion to take over by any means necessary, lie, cheat, steal. That old punk song from the Discord comp, lie, cheat, steal. Lie, cheat, steal. Guess what? Our greatest ally has the same sort of mantra. It's quite phenomenal, isn't it? Anyway, if the crux of your whole religion is lie, cheat, steal, conquest, take over, kill them all, let God sort them out. And somebody threw, well, John, that's the Christian motto. No, it isn't, you dolt. Did bad things happen under Christendom? Yes. Are they still going on? No. Okay. That's what the Reformation was kind of reforming, was some of the bad stuff. Look into it. It's pretty fascinating. But anyway. Yeah, Pope Baby thinks we're all just going to live, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? I don't know, Pope Baby. I don't know, man. But if you believe that, I think you're probably smoking a lot. You're probably doing the stuff in that bubble there in the middle. You're smoking and drinking and getting high on your own supply, and you're a moron. I know, but I know that one Muslim guy. He's a really kind guy. He always asks me out for halal beef patties or whatever. Yeah, great. Everybody knows that one guy, right? Everybody's got that one friend or that 2 or 3 friends. Yeah, fine. That's not the problem, folks. It's not the 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 friends. It's when they all cluster the flip up and go, aha, Allah Akbar, it's time to kill the crackers. That's when the problem arises, okay? And no, I'm not just talking Muslim. I'm talking any group. It's great until they start grouping up, okay? I'm sure there's people of color that are saying that right now about Los Blancos. Los Blancos are great until they start grouping up and going nutty, I guess, which doesn't usually happen. Los Blancos are the weakest, most scavengerly, bottom feeder people on the globe. Nothing but the truth. I'm just throwing it out there to you. Anyway, but in general, that's the problem. When people start grouping up, that's when stuff kind of goes south. It's a lovely church meeting until like 4 or 5 groups get together, and then you got the Heaven's Gate cult. It sucks. It's not good. People start cutting off their wee-wees and waiting for spaceships. It's terrible, okay? You don't want that. But at least it's not the bread and butter of the christened religious text. There's no Christian text talking about, let's lie to and cut off of all those people. It just doesn't exist, folks. If it does, just shoot me an email, let me know. I'll be happy to do a show correction in the next edition of the show. Holy cow. So those are just a few things that I'm very anti. Other things that I'm having included, I'm anti-death. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole different show on this, just about the death industrial complex and the institutionalization of death. We have a whole industry. We have several industries just built on killing and death. It's true. If you don't believe me, just look at any grocery store you might happen to go to, because 9 out of 10 items will kill you dead in a hammer. If you think I'm lying, go to the pharmacy, and I'm sure you're probably on something. Take a look at the back. What's it going to say? It'll probably say, this is going to kill you dead in a hammer, folks. And then what? Then you get to go into hospital. Oh boy, now I get to go to hospital and deal with el doctor. Oh boy, now you're really screwed. Yeah, if you were actually worried about the Muslims and whatever the other groups are that were going to kill you, guess what? They're probably in line. First at the list of people that are going to kill you is going to be your doctor, the hospital, the pharmaceutical industry, the food industry. And it's all just to lead you into the death industry. Make no mistake about it, folks. So after they've given you toxic food and given you toxic medicine to fix the problem that wasn't there in the first place, then they'll put you in a hospital. Oh boy, hospital. Then it really gets good. Then they'll charge you an arm and a leg because we've got money for Israel, Ukraine, Mexico, Africa, but not for you, the American cracker. Not the American person that's actually making a living wage. No, no, no. We've come to watch you die. Yeah, if we can do it really quick, then we can sell off your organs and we can Soylent Green the rest of you. And then you get to go into the death culture. Oh, goody. Then you get to go into the arm and a leg and a thigh and a wing and a buttercup too, because there's a whole other industry that's just involved in embalming you and burning you and boxing you up, putting you in a little plastic sheath and shoving you in the ground. That'll kill you too. And then they'll try to rape you and rake you over the coals over whatever you might have left over that you might want to live, or rather have live on beyond you. to your family and loved ones. Better watch out. You better not cry if you try to give something to old cousin Eli. Because then they're going to tax his blipping butt while he's alive. Because you had the audacity of giving him some money from beyond the grave. Yeah, I'm pretty anti that too. So what else have we covered? We're anti-pharmaceutical. We're anti-medical mafia. We're anti-food industry. Big Agra, can't forget them. We're anti-death industry. And we're definitely anti the institutions at large. Here's a big novel idea, folks. People love to lapdog the police and military because that's what they've been trained to do. So it's funny, like there's the one camp that we're going to lapdog the police and military. The other camp is we're going to hate the police and military. You know, so choose your cult wisely. I'm of this cult. How about the anti-everything cults? Because I'm of the mind and opinion that, hey, you don't follow unconstitutional orders. You know, like if you were tasked to go out there and arrest somebody over a tweet or a post because they didn't have a mask on, then you look at this and you say, you know what, this is bull. I'm not doing this. And you just don't do it. Oh, but John, then you'll get fired and all your friends will hate you and you'll lose your your benefits and your 401k, you know, all that stuff that is now just being gambled on the open market. Don't forget. Yeah. People are so concerned about this stuff, but they're not concerned about just, you know, how the 1984 quote goes, the boot stomping on a face forever. Not concerned about that. You're concerned about how you look to your peers. You're concerned about your paycheck. You're concerned about not losing your benefits and insurance. My point is, folks, if you are in some of these lovely institutions, think. Like I said before, take all the things off, the blinders, the 10 things on the rifle, the helmet, the knee pads, the elbow pads, the whole nine. Take it off and just sit and think for a minute. Is this tyrannical and crazy? You know, it's like all those people. What are those people on what the heck were they on? Like the Ford, or I think it was the SS Gerald Ford or whatever it is. And they mysteriously had a laundry fire. That was probably just the soldiers on the flipping boat going, we don't want to die for Israel. Screw this. Yeah, what a concept. It's like that old stupid hippie 60s saying, what if they threw a war, man? And like nobody showed up, bro. Yeah. So that's kind of where I land on that one. I'm pretty anti all that stuff. I don't think that most of the things that are done in our name are all that necessary. I'm not saying the police aren't necessary from time to time. I'm saying they aren't necessary as far as just pulling people over for U-turns and things. It's kind of superfluous. How about you stop the people that are trafficking kids? How about you arrest the people that are actually murdering and raping? Oh, I know. I've already answered my own question. All three branches of government are stolen. That's why I'm anti all three branches of government. It's all stolen. Come on, please. All these leftist fruits, like, we're on stolen land. Okay, folks, I don't give a flip. All three branches of government are stolen. Okay? Like all the things that the people think are truth, justice, and the American way. We'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. It's all just a lie. It's all a flipping lie, folks. It's all a flipping lie. Okay? So anyway, I'm all anti those institutions as well. I think I've covered the religious institutions, right? Did I not cover them? Someone unclear on that obvious one? Yeah, I'm not for any of that. The big churches, the mega churches, the big church in the neighborhood, the 501c3. I'm not for any of that. I'm anti it all, okay? What I am for is people actually reading the religious text and building the individual relationship with God. Yeah, I'm pretty for that. I'm not for joining anything or somebody telling me how I need to look at it or interpret it or view it. I mean, I'd just say people need to do some reading. That's it. Just read. Read by yourself, for yourself, okay? Make your own choices and decisions based on that text. Because if you look at a lot of these religious institutions out there, they're hilarious, folks. There's so many LGBT, elemental, not so silent P's out there. And I'm not talking about the Catholic Church, but that's obvious, isn't it? So, I mean, I don't know how anyone can look at any of these institutions and go, that's my guy. I'm with that. You know, like, what? Really? You're with that? Okay, then. This also explains why people buy into the Erica Kirk thing. This also explains why Jim and Tammy Faye Baker were making money hand over fist for well over a decade. Heritage USA, Bible Land, the whole 9 yards. I mean, did you miss that? Somehow people miss that. Like, there's the new people, the Olsteins and whatever that other demonic creature is, that guy. These guys are like the New Jack versions of the Tammy Fays and the Jim Bakers, you know? This is where it's just funny that people have no grasp of history. This isn't even history. This is like 20, 30 years ago. And people are still like, sure, Olstein's a great guy. Sure. Erica Kirk's legit. She's a Christian. She's real. Donald J. Trump saves people and stuff. Okay, this brings us to, I got 4 minutes and we won't be over time, which I'm obviously going over time on this one, so that's okay. Let's put this one on the screen because this one was what really had everyone's hair raising. Let me see and make sure I'm not getting the wrong one. Anyway, this is pretty funny. I got to put this one up. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. That's not what I wanted. That's what I want. That's better. Here it is. This is the thing that got everybody's little panties in a knot, I guess, over the last couple of days. I found it not surprising. It's like, who's surprised by this? Why are people even shocked? It's not shocking. I don't know which version of this. There's been so many. And like everything else, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt and go, is this even real? I mean, obviously, DJT didn't do this on his own. His aide, his assistant, whatever. You know, put one of these memes out there, one of these lovelies from the CGI or AI or whatever. And everybody really lost it. Well, not everybody. I mean, the cult members were just falling all over themselves and make excuses for it. Anyway, so you've clearly got DJT playing the role of some sort of deity. We'll say JC. and then DJT comes out and he's like, no, I was talking about how I was healing the nation. And everybody went, healing the nation? How you healing the nation when we're over there fighting for Israel? We got at least 15 people dead. Anyway, how you healing the nation when there's still pedophiles running amok? So, you know, there was so much investigation over just this one picture. I just found it kind of hilarious. I don't even know if this shows the whole thing because there's like soldiers coming out of the sky. This stuff is just like the most hilarious thing in the world. So there's like these shadowy soldier figures coming out of the sky. So there's been so much investigation and people are looking at it like, oh, I think that's a demonic face. I think that's Baphomet. I think it's Baal or whatever. You know, it's like, good grief, folks. A saying that I love because it's so true. When people tell you who they are, listen. You don't have to analyze it to death. You don't have to analyze it to death and try to come up with excuses or why it's legitimate or how it's still cool or whatever else. Just listen, okay? When somebody's always lying to you, when somebody's joking, quote unquote, and calling you names and treating you like a piece of dirt, they're telling you they are a piece of poo-poo. And as I always say, identify scum and stay away from it. It's just that simple. You don't need to analyze it and get out your magnifying glass and put it into Photoshop. And this is my other favorite people that always love it to do. They love to flip the images around. We've combined the images and flipped them around of the $2 bill. And look, it's the, you know. Jesus, man. We flipped the $2 bill around and combined the images, and it looks like a picture of Lindsey Graham's rump. You know, like, what? Who's got this much time? Who comes up with this kind of crap? I don't have this much time. I'm not sitting there like folding money doing some flipping origami project. I'm not, as sure, believe, looking at some meme through my magnified lens in Photoshop trying to find weird symbols in the flipping smoke or whatever. Anyway, so you got that version of DJT. There's so many. I don't know what the flip's going on. Here's another version of DJT healing the people. So, I mean, clearly this is blasphemous to anybody with a brain. But there's still the cult members out there going, this is great. He's not really pretending to be Jesus. He's just saying he's helping people. Oh, my gracious. How is this not funny to everybody? Because people still want to believe in bull jive. But wait, there's more. We've got our final clip of the night. I'm not going to play the whole thing because, quite frankly, I can't stomach it. Here it is. Can we zoom in? Somebody's about to freak out if we don't zoom in. Oh, goody, we've zoomed in. It's this lovely, unprovoked press conference clip of Melania. Melania Trump's going out there. I mean, the propaganda campaign that we're under right now is really second to none. I'm sure other wives of presidents have come out with documentaries while they were in office. The more you look at it, the more I believe most of these esposas are really dudes. I'm thinking Melania's probably not a dude, but if you look down the list at the other presidents' wives, and you don't even have to zoom in, folks. It's not one of those things where you're flipping money around and looking for weird stuff. Just take a gander. Just Google, whatever president wife you want to throw in there, and you will be kind of thinking, wait a minute. There's a lot of hard lines and a lot of square jaws for these ladies. If I was a betting man, I'd bet my money that these are, in fact, hombres. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is what we're going to do. We're going to play Melania. She came out there unprovoked, unsolicited, and doing a little press conference and talking about how she was not involved in any kind of Epstein shenanigans. She wasn't on the list. She wasn't doing anything nefarious with anybody. She didn't really hang out with those chaps. She didn't know them. She didn't do nothing with them. She was tired of the bull butter. And I swear, man, to a certain degree, I just think, kind of like that old Billy Shakespeare quote, thou protests too much. Okay? I get it to a point, To a point, you want to go out there and shout it from the rooftops, baby, that you weren't on the list or whatever, I mean, if there was rumors I was out there hanging out with like a leprechaun or something, I just go, I don't hang out with leprechauns. I'm not into that, blah, blah, blah. But probably not, because it's so stupid, right? So, in my humble opinion, why the bleep is Melania going out there wasting everybody's time with this horrible press conference where she's talking about how she's not involved and she ain't on the list and she's never done anything improprietous and all this, that, and the other job. So I'll just play you a little bit of it, and then I'll give you my critique. Then we'll call it a night, eh? Let's go. Melania's on stage 1. Yeah, put it up to your ear. Might be a little low volume.
Afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more.
Okay. So we only listened to 1 minute and 20 seconds of a 5 minute and 50-second montage of funny, really. I mean, it's just so stupid, man. A lot of people are up there like, oh, well, she's just, I can't remember what the stupid word is that everybody was saying. She's disavowing. That was a stupid word from like 5 years ago. the disavow word was almost as cool as crash out and slop. But disavowing, she's disavowing all this bull jive. What really rings so just weird and stupid to me is if this is something you're actually upset about and you're passionate about, you wouldn't really just be sitting up there reading it like you were just reading Moby Dick, you know what I mean? It's just stupid. And a hump like a snow hill. It is Moby Dick. You know, I mean, this is the kind of hilarious reading that we're doing. And I mean, I guess it's not reading off a prompter, so that's cool. But it's almost worse because you're just like reading a flipping book for 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's really weird. It seems very like lacking passion and lacking legitimacy, sincerity. I mean, I don't know if this is like a legitimate Melania or if this is one of those Biden dolls they got up there wound up and just gets up there and walks like a weirdo and then just mutters some nonsense. If that's the case, this clone is better than the Biden doll that they had. But so there's that. It just seems really stupid because the irony of ironies is she comes out there and says, you know, towards the end or middle to the end, that we need to go after these people that are harming kids and trafficking kids and that sort of thing. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, DJT, just about any chance he gets is making fun of people that believe in Epstein and calling them Democrat operatives and low IQ and all this stuff. So meanwhile, the wife is going out here saying, I wasn't involved in any of this. We need to get these people. Trump's going out there and saying, this isn't even real. All these documents are just Democrat hoaxes. I can't believe you're still even thinking about Epstein. Like, why would you be? I mean, this is like one of the biggest child villains of all time, and people are still talking about that guy. Why? That's silly. Could it be the connections to the military-industrial complex? All branches of politics, you know, the Hollywood machine and all celebrities? Could that be the clue there? I don't know. But this is just kind of a humorous note here. And I know somebody's going to hate me for this one. I just don't understand. Every time you turn around, you're getting told how intelligent Melania Trump is. Could be a very smart lady. I don't even care. She's not running jack, allegedly. But we get told how intelligent this woman is. She speaks 7, 8, 9, 10 languages, whatever. Okay, great. Great. I don't know how long she has been here in America. I don't know if she hangs out with people that speak English on the regular. I don't really know, but it's really strange to me. I'll just conservatively say she's been in America for 10 years. Okay? Conservatively. 10 years. Easy, right? And she speaks like Yakov Smirnoff from the 1980s. Anybody who doesn't remember that, look up Yakov Smirnoff comedy. He was a comedian in the 1980s. I mean, he's still alive. I guess he's probably still doing a show here and there, maybe. I don't know. But Yakov Smirnoff spoke better English in his comedy routine that was meant to be funny. The whole shtick of Yakov Smirnoff's comedy was making fun of how bad Russia was compared to the United States. It'd be like, in Russia, we have no money. That kind of stupid. That's the comedy of it. But his whole shtick was that. So his accent was terrible. He was like the caricature of caricatures for like a Russian guy who can't speak English really well. But Yakov Smirnoff spoke better in his fake accent. I mean, he was Russian. I'm sure he had an accent, but the whole shtick was to be hilarious, you know? It's like, what was that guy? Bill the Cable Guy doesn't really say, yuck, and should be, he doesn't sound like that if you talk to him in real life. It's a shtick, folks. It's a flipping act. It's meant to be hilarious. They're trying to show you a caricature of a group of people or of an individual. So I say all that to say this. Yakov Smirnoff in his 1980s, clearly a caricature of a Russian immigrant in America. His accent is not as bad as Melania's accent. And it's just confounds me. It's like, how is that possible? This is a lady that's been in America for 10 plus years. First lady of the United States, has access to everything and anything under the sun far before she ever even entered the White House. Guarantee you, she's got people that dress her, people that cook for her, people that clean for her, people that pick up her stuff and just walk around with her, okay? This is not even new information. This is old information. So if all that is true, do you not have someone that talks to you about your speeches? Do you not have someone that says, hey, you know what would actually sound pretty good, Melania? If you actually sounded like you were at least in America for a couple of days. It's just weird. I'll play a little bit more of this for you so you think I'm not just being a jerk. I mean, listen, this is crazy.
Then a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim.
Are you listening to this? This is crazy, folks. This is not me being a jerk. This is just me being, hello.
I met my husband
What's
by
going on here?
chance at
I
the New
think,
York City
as I've
party
said many
on
times over, and I keep having to say this, we're in a global humiliation ritual. Like everything we're going through right now, it's to make you feel like you are either the dumbest person alive or your culture, your party, your race, your heritage, whatever it is, they're making you out to be a moron because you're listening to this and going, that's our girl. Like she's got it. She speaks 8 or 9 languages. Okay, well, awesome. But she's in America now. You think she would speak American better than that? Like, it's just weird, man. It's weird. Like if I was in Mexico for 5 flipping months, I would speak pretty darn good Spanish. It's wild. Would I still have a little bit of an accent? I'm sure, but I mean, I'd work on it. That's the whole point. When you're in a foreign land, you're trying to actually like speak that language if you're going to be there for an extended period of time so that they can understand it. And then you can understand them and vice versa. It's just, that's how it works, isn't it? Isn't that really what it's all about? All right. I've gone way over my time. Hopefully I haven't urinated in everybody's cornflakes this evening. Woo. All right. So in case you missed it, folks, I am pretty much anti-everything. I'm anti-everything we've covered tonight and so much more. Feel free to comment or message or whatever, and I'll be happy to tell you more things that I'm anti in case you're in any way in a gray area right about now. You shouldn't be, but you know, somebody out there is going, I wonder how he feels about Cheerios. He didn't talk about Cheerios. Yeah, I'm anti-Cheerios too. It's got glyphosate in it. It's GMO trash. It'll shrink your Cheerios and turn you into a woman. Oh, while giving you cancer. But I digress. Anyway, get out there, folks. Do your part. Make a difference if you can. That's all I'm going to say on that. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you. You, yes, you right there in the skirt, yeah, or you over there in the jeans and a t-shirt. Whoever's over there in the John Deere cap and the overalls. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the anomic cage.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.